Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias. Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
La Universidad Católica Boliviana San Pablo abre sus espacios educativos promoviendo medidas de acción positiva que favorece la inclusión en la educación superior de personas con necesidades educativas específicas, a través del área de inclusión, discapacidad y equidad, la cual facilita el tránsito adecuado en el acceso, permanencia y salida exitosa de sus estudiantes. Promueve la actualización en la formación docente sobre la temática. Desarrolla e implementa mecanismos y estrategias de apoyo equitativo en el aula. Aplica el modelo social de la discapacidad para transformar culturas y prácticas inclusivas. Todos los días en la Universidad Católica Boliviana trabajamos con entusiasmo, creando sinergias en la comunidad universitaria por la igualdad de oportunidades con responsabilidad y respeto, sobre todo personas.
Mi nombre es Jesús Albeiro Urbano, soy del municipio de Santa Cruz, Guachavés, vivo en una vereda que se llama El Pedregal. Soy sobreviviente de una mina antipersonal, perdí mis dos piernas. Desde ahí quedé en una silla de ruedas. Yo pensaba que ya era una persona que de pronto no servía para nada, pero gracias a la ayuda de mi familia y mi novia, yo me superé y siempre he querido darles como a la gente un ejemplo de vida que uno en condición de discapacidad sí puede salir adelante. Yo tenía unos ahorros por ahí y me compré un carro y lo hice adaptar a la mano. Entonces yo tengo una van y ahí transporto 17 niños a una guardería. Cuando yo era niño, mi mayor sueño era estudiar y tener una profesión, pero por cosas de la vida, la pobreza, mi papá no tenía los recursos, terminé el quinto de primaria y me retiré. Y siempre quería entrar a estudiar a una universidad. Para mí la Escuela Superior de la ESAP, ¿cómo les puedo decir? Como un regalo de Dios o no sé, ¿no? Porque esta universidad llega a este municipio, es un municipio pequeño. Esto es una oportunidad como para las personas que de pronto no tenemos los recursos para salir a una ciudad. Entonces es bueno estudiar y que tengan el conocimiento y no se desanimen por nada y que el estudio es lo más bonito que tenemos en la vida.
ESAP, Escuela Superior de Administración Pública. El servicio público es de todos. Función pública.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006. A continuación, Footless yo. Más allá de una amputación. Presenta EE.UU BECKWITH. Características de este programa. Audio en inglés. Subtítulos en castellano.
Hello there, my beautiful, lovely internet friends. Welcome to my surgical recovery nest. We've got Pickles the teddy bear, we've got a heating pad, we've got ice packs right over there, and way too many blankets and pillows. So 5 days ago, I had a laparoscopy surgery, which is basically something that they can do to look in your abdomen and figure out what's going on. Specifically, they were looking for signs of endometriosis to go in and remove if it was present, and I'd like to give you an update on how all of that went. It was definitely an interesting surgery with some weird after-surgery side effects, which I had not experienced previously, and let you guys know how things went. Now, I do want to start this with a bit of a disclaimer. Today is my first day off of any like post-op pain medications. I did try filming this video yesterday. I went in the morning of Wednesday. Oh god, my head's a little fuggy. Nope, okay. It did not go well, I'll leave it at that. I kept trying to say words and then the wrong words would come out and I was like, oh, okay, I guess medications do affect me. So in my 3 decades here on planet Earth, I have had well over a dozen surgeries. I'm pretty familiar with how the whole process goes, and I also have a lot of negative experiences in our medical healthcare system. So when I go in for surgery, it's the last thing that I want to do, and it's also something that I have a lot of anxiety about because I don't want any more medically traumatic situations. And I just want to start off by saying that this was with a new hospital system in my area and they were absolutely freaking fantastic. This is probably the best surgical experience I had start to finish, and also the best recovery that I've had so far, which comes down to a number of things that I'll be talking about here shortly. But a big thank you to Penrose St. Francis for treating me like a human being, which was absolutely lovely. So I went in for surgery Wednesday morning. Oh, I just spilled my tea. We all knew that was gonna happen. I talked about this a little bit in my previous video as I was going into surgery, but the reason that I was having this exploratory laparoscopy, which is a fun word to say, was that they suspected that I had endometriosis. Now, this is something I've had the symptoms of for many years. I've thought I probably had it, but there's no way to confirm it without actually going in and visually seeing if it's there or not. So it's really kind of like a 50-50 shot whether this is causing your symptoms or it's something else. I understood going in that there was a significant chance that they weren't going to find anything. I was really hopeful that maybe they would find something so I would have an answer and kind of a solution to what was going on. And though I am not looking to collect any more scars on my body, after weighing some of kind of the risks and the benefits, I did decide with my husband to go ahead and do the surgery in hopes that maybe there would be an answer there so that I would know what was going on and we could move forward with better treatment. Unfortunately, as my doctor told me in post-op, the good news is the bad news. I do not have endometriosis. They found no signs of that, which on the one hand is freaking fantastic because it is a horrible disease to have to deal with. It's a lifelong thing. But on the other hand, it still means that there's no real answer or solution. It's very probable that a lot of this just comes back to fibromyalgia. A lot of people with fibromyalgia deal with pelvic pain. Oftentimes it's unexplainable, right? It doesn't show up on any scans. It's just something that you kind of deal with. So that's kind of the current theory, but it's hard to be experiencing symptoms that don't have a name or don't have some kind of solution. So I'm guessing I probably will be following up with some GI and urinary doctors in the future just to confirm that there's nothing that's wrong, right, outside of fibromyalgia, because I feel like that's probably a beneficial thing to do. And because I've seen so many doctors this year, our out-of-pocket expenses are met. So yay insurance, it's basically free for the rest of the year. The weird things that we celebrate with healthcare in America, am I right? It's been so expensive already that it's not gonna be more expensive. Oh, okay, all right, I should not be trusted. You know, I did say I was off all post-surgery medications because I am, but I'm pretty sure I'm still experiencing some of the effects. So one of the bizarre things that they do during a laparoscopy is they make an incision below your belly button and another incision or two down below that, and they fill your abdomen with carbon dioxide gas. Basically, this kind of inflates your body so that they're able to clearly see things when they're going in there with cameras and scopes. I don't know, how did someone figure this out? That's my question. However, one of the side effects is that gas does not just magically disappear in your system the second they're done with surgery. It lodges in there. And the first 48 hours after surgery were very uncomfortable because you can feel it. You can feel that in your body. Oftentimes it kind of travels upwards. You can feel so much pressure and tightness in your diaphragm. I was having a lot of trouble breathing. Like, I could breathe, but it was just painful and difficult. A lot of very intense shoulder and upper body pain as that kind of dissipated. The number one thing that helps that break up is the one thing you don't want to be doing, which is moving around. So I tried to be a really good patient. I spent a lot of time just pacing back and forth in my living room, trying to get that to break up in between laying down and sleeping it off. But for me also, my body was just like so stretched and bloated and expanded. I had trouble eating for days because I felt like if I put anything else in my body, my stomach would literally like just like burst open. You're just so swollen and full. But like I said, thankfully, at about 72 hours, that kind of dissipated fully for me, and I was just dealing with normal after surgery effects. I do have some issues with anesthesia that it just kind of stays in my system for a few days. It takes me a while to start feeling kind of human again and where I don't have to sleep a lot of the times. So by yesterday, I was really just dealing with like the abdominal pain, the incision pain, kind of post-surgical pain. You do get some bruising. I'm gonna pop a picture up on screen of one of the incisions and bruises. If you don't want to see this, just skip ahead about 10 seconds. But this is what that was looking like yesterday. I actually didn't realize the incisions were gonna be quite so big. They're like an inch and a half across. I usually don't care that much about scars, but I was kind of like, ah, bummer. I thought they were gonna just be little like buttonholes for the cameras, but alas, they are not. Like I said, I'm not a newcomer to surgery, but one thing that has been very different about this surgical journey, and something I would highly recommend to anyone going through any kind of illness or surgical procedure, is every surgery I've ever had in the past, when I've had to rest afterwards, like it's important that you actually give your body what it needs, whether that be rest, good food, sleep, a little bit of movement. I've always felt so much guilt for that because I feel like if I'm resting and not being productive, whether that's doing some tasks or responding to emails or whatever it is that I'm failing, I feel a lot of guilt and a lot of worthlessness recovering from surgery because I don't feel like I'm contributing to society. And I think that's one of those lies that's been lodged pretty deep in me, like hustle, do more, be better. And you can't really do that when you're recovering. You need to give your body what it needs. And so that's a mindset I've been working on breaking down for years now. And I feel like this is the first surgery where I was able to be like, you know what? Everything will be waiting for me when my body is okay again. I don't need to push myself. I don't need to break my body. I don't need to prove anything to myself or anybody else. And so I am going to take this time to fully listen to my body, to rest, to relax, and to not make myself feel like shit about that, to not make myself feel awful about the fact that I just had surgery and I am recovering. And genuinely, this surgical recovery has gone better than any other. Like, there was discomfort, there was pain, but I was okay. I was okay because I wasn't stressing myself out and making all those symptoms worse by being like, you need to do more. Because there are times when you don't need to do more, when what you need to be doing is listening to your body and resting. And so by doing that for the first 4 or 5 days, I feel exponentially better than I ever have this far out after any surgical procedure, which is pretty fantastic. But another interesting discovery from this surgery was the fact that drugs work again. So many of you guys know this piece of my story, but I was on pain management medication for almost a decade, meaning that I was on larger and larger doses of narcotics, of opioids, and my system became very, very accustomed to that, meaning that getting any kind of pain relief if something bad did happen was really difficult to do. And while I'm sure some of that's probably still in my system, using kind of the normal amount of pain medication after this procedure as any other person was sufficient. That was honestly another big win for me, because it can be kind of scary knowing that if you ever get in very intense pain, if you're in an accident or something bad happens, it's gonna be damn near impossible to get your pain under control because the amount of medication your body's gonna need to feel that relief is really high, and sometimes dangerous levels of high, so you won't be able to get help if you need it. And that was something I was always really worried about, and I'm really grateful to know that that has resolved itself, right? Like, I was able to get through this just fine. So at the end of the day, this was another door that didn't really lead anywhere, right? Like, there's a part of me that's like, great, you went through more havoc on your body for no good reason because they didn't find anything. But realistically, I know that a possibility was eliminated, that we know it's not something. And I've spent a lot of time over the last many years being so unbelievably frustrated at not knowing what was going on with my body in a variety of ways, and not having an answer to what is giving you pain, not having a community or a word to describe it can feel very isolating and lonely and frustrating. But going into this knowing that there was a very real possibility that I still wouldn't have any answers, I tried to prepare myself for that and be like, you know what? This is just how things are right now. I'm gonna do what I need to do to continue to make sure that it's nothing more serious, right? To kind of eliminate any bad possibilities, but at the end of the day, this is my life right now. At the end of the day, I have some answers. There are some answers that are still being looked for, and I'm trying to just make peace with that and not let it completely consume my mind, because it has definitely done that in the past, and it is an agonizing place to be when you are so desperate. This time around, I feel like I've done an okay job at just kind of breathing through it and accepting things as they come. So all in all, I'm glad that this went smoothly. I'm glad that it's behind me. I'm bummed that there aren't any answers just yet. And I'm really, really grateful for all of your lovely messages and comments and support. Thank you so much. I really hope this is gonna be like the last surgery possibly ever. I always say that and it never works out, so maybe I don't even wish that this time. Maybe I'm just like, the last one for a very long time. With that being said, real quick, before we finish up and go, I wanna give a big shout out to my sponsor, Squarespace. This is a fantastic company that gives you domain names and websites and all kinds of fantastic tools that I've been working with for a couple months now. And I highly recommend them if you're looking for a domain name, a website, if you're building a store, if you're looking for a personal website. As you guys know, recently I've been working on redesigning my public speaking website, and Squarespace has all of the features that I need, from easy domain purchase to fantastic analytics, blogging, and commenting features that are so simple to use. Also, perhaps most important to me and many of us, really easy website design building tools, gorgeous, easy to edit templates so you can build out your website from some existing design so you don't have to build it from scratch, and more. And best of all, my friends at Squarespace have offered a 10% discount to anyone who goes to squarespace.com/footlessjoe. So go ahead and click that link in my description if you're interested in a discount on a fantastic service. A big thank you to my dad for being there to bring me to and pick me up and sit with me through a lot of nausea after surgery, and also to Brian for bringing me home and taking such amazing care of me. When you have any kind of abdominal surgery, sitting up becomes very difficult. Like, I'm just at the point now where I can like do this motion without significant pain. It's just like kind of normal soreness. So I did a lot of running to get me water upstairs, and I didn't want to get up to put my leg on and things of that nature. So thank you, baby. I really appreciate it. He also brought me the world's best gummy bears. If you're looking for fantastic gummy bears, not remotely sponsored, these are where it's at. Am I eating gummy bears at 9 in the morning? Yes. Yes, I am. And with that being said, to my patrons, a big thank you as well for seeing me through this time, for your generosity and your continued support. I really appreciate it. To you watching this video right now, thank you so much for spending a few minutes out of your day here with me today. A little bit out of it, like I'm getting back with it, but I'm still a little bit out of it, as you might be able to tell. You could be anywhere else in the world doing anything else, and you chose to hang out with me for a few minutes. I think this video is for anyone else who's ever lost a pet, because I'm very confused by what I'm feeling. Hello there, my beautiful internet friends. I had to say goodbye to Monkey last week, very unexpectedly. Many of you who have been on the channel or followed me for some time will be very familiar with this cute little face. Out of kind of nowhere, she started coughing a lot last week. And the vets initially thought it was bronchitis or pneumonia, tried to treat her for that, definitely didn't get any better. And then analysis came back on tests, and it turned out that she had cancer that had spread everywhere. And she just didn't like show any signs of it, because she's a tough little cookie, until it was really bad. So I had to make the decision at a time when I was not expecting to have to make it, to put her down, because I didn't want her to like hurt. I'm very confused by what I'm feeling. I've never lost a pet before that was mine. I've lost family pets before. We lost Lewis, who was Brian's cat, last year. But I've never lost a pet that was mine. I found her off of Craigslist. Maybe not the safest place to get a dog, but it sure worked out here. I actually saw her on Craigslist, and then later in the day went to a dog park with Sadie here, and saw her at the dog park and talked to her owner, who was looking for a new home for her, and it kind of felt like fate. I brought her home that night, and she was perfect. And her and Sadie kept me company, really very sincerely saved me at a time in my life when I was very much not okay. I had recently gone through a lot of trauma and was just in broken little pieces. About a month after I got her, I went on a road trip across the country, just me and Monkey, to visit some friends, because I had to leave, and she was little and easy to transport, and so I took her with me, and we really bonded on that trip. She sat on the passenger seat next to me, just kind of like sat up in the seat the whole trip. If you met her, you loved her. Like, I have 3 dogs, and I love them all so perfectly. They're perfect little creatures. But if anyone met my 3 dogs, they always gravitated towards Monkey because she was a sweet little thing who would like sit back and just like reach up to you with her paws, and you couldn't help but like hold them and pet her and love her. And Brian and I both thought we had a lot more time with her. She's also the one who never really got sick. Like, I have 2 German Shepherds and they get sick sometimes. They get upset stomachs and sometimes their digestion gets off, and you know, they're kind of finicky, but Monkey was this little tank. And last week she got sick and I thought she'd be fine, and then she wasn't fine. There's so many points in my day that are different. When I let the dogs outside and call them in, I'd always like count out loud 1, 2, 3 as they all came running in to make sure they were all in, and now there's just the 2. Oh, someone knows when I'm upset. Are you such a good girl? This is little Sophie, if you don't know. She's a very good dog. Or feeding them in the morning, you know, there's an extra bowl, or taking them out for a walk. Suddenly I can handle all of my dogs on my own because there's only 2 of them. The house feels so empty. Brian and I both feel the same way, that like she was a little dog. It's weird how much space in your house, how much space in our house she took up. And I'm not sure how to grieve losing a pet. I'm not sure how people feel when they lose pets. I'm not sure how long they feel that way. Brian made a comment the other day that she kind of carried me through. Like I said, when I got her, I was in a rough spot and wasn't sure if I was gonna make it. And now I'm in a much better place mentally, emotionally than I was then. And it's like she was there for the whole repair process. She was there for so much healing. I mean, literally like there with me, sitting with me, like her head in my lap, her little tail hitting the ground. She gave me and us so much, and it definitely still doesn't feel real. Like, I still expect her to walk in the door, right? I'm confident that we did the right thing. We had 3 different vets who told us this is the right choice to make, but it's still so bizarre to like pick up the phone and make that call. I know I'm gonna have to go pick up her like paw print and stuff, and I'm not sure when to get another dog. If we're going to. Like, for both Brian and I, the house feels really quiet and really empty, and our other 2 dogs are feeling the effects of this. I don't know when the right time is, if there is a right time. I suppose that's something that I'll figure out with time. There's such a part of me that is like, Joe, she's just a dog, get over it. Like, it's like this voice of someone very mean who I would never associate with in real life, who just keeps telling me to like suck it up and be fine because she's just a dog. But like, if you've ever had a pet that you cared about, you know that they're such a part of your life. And especially with her being such a large part of my emotional journey to being who I am today, it's so weird that she's not here. It's so weird that she's not like curled up on the couch next to me, because she'd always be like right over there when I was filming, or maybe on the dog beds. I'm very, very, very grateful that I got to be a part of her life and she got to be a big part of ours. We literally couldn't have gotten luckier with her. I feel like grief is really weird because there are some moments where I'm like, you know what, I miss her, but she had a long life and this hurts, but it's okay. And there are other moments when, this is a dumb story. I was getting ready this morning and got a phone call from like a scam number when I wasn't expecting it, and it interrupted what I was listening to, and I was filled with so much rage. I wanted to like punch a hole through the mirror. Like, I had to like, whoa, Joe, like calm down, like check myself before smashing my mirror, because at like the smallest little things, I just feel these like huge surges of emotion, and that's what grief is like. It's weird and random and unpredictable. I know that we will be okay. I know that we are not right now. It's a weird thing to have to go through. You know, for like 2 years now, my counselor has been talking to me about just feeling things instead of trying to predict and control and stifle emotions. I feel all those old impulses bubbling back up to like, nope, not gonna feel it, just not gonna, nope, I'm good. Or to rationalize my way out of feeling anything, which I'm also very talented at. Let me know if you're talented at that too, it's a special skill. But some things should be felt. I think this kind of a loss is something that deserves to be felt, because it's significant and it's hard and it's weird. I wanted to make this video both to let you know what's going on, because I felt weird just hopping back in front of a camera without explaining this, because she was such a significant part of me and of our lives. It felt ingenuous. That's not a word. I don't know. It felt insincere to try to brush over this without talking about it. Part of loving things is sometimes losing them, and it makes you want to just not. And I imagine it's probably going to hurt for a little while, and then I imagine it's probably going to get a little less sharp as time goes on, and I'm going to do my best to ride that out. I think that's everything I had to say. If you've ever gone through this, I'm very sorry. It's hard and weird and confusing and painful. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to sit here with me in my on the edge of tears speaking today and hear a little bit about Miss Monkey. Thank you to everyone who cared about her on this channel and on my pages. So many people thought she was the best because she was. I know she'll be missed by a lot of people. So thank you for listening. Thank you to my patrons for supporting this channel, enabling me to make these videos, and to you watching this video right now. Thank you for spending a few minutes out of your day here with me today. You could be anywhere else in the world doing anything else, and you chose to hang out with me for a few minutes in my grief. And that means a lot to me. Thank you. I love you guys. I'm thinking about you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
En el nuevo paradigma de la educación inclusiva no cabe la educación especial. Las estructuras educativas especiales han de migrar en un periodo razonable, no se puede hacer todo de la noche a la mañana, hacia estructuras y prácticas plenamente inclusivas para todo el alumnado, sin distinciones ni acepciones.
La Convención Internacional sobre los Derechos de las Personas con Discapacidad de la ONU de 2006 marca el punto de partida de la polémica por el cierre de los colegios de educación especial. El valor de la inclusión educativa es incuestionable y desde la educación especial se desarrollan multitud de procesos innovadores para asegurar esas oportunidades para alumnos con discapacidad.
No es admisible por más tiempo la segregación educativa por razón de discapacidad. Es un imperativo jurídico internacional de derechos humanos comprometido por España con la comunidad internacional y con el sistema de Naciones Unidas. En el caso de la discapacidad parece que forma parte del paisaje, que se acepta con naturalidad y que no provoca especial escándalo, pero no deja de ser una segregación por razón de una diferencia. Se trata de una violación grave de derechos humanos. Proponemos que en el plazo de 5 años desde que se adopte tendríamos ese lapso para migrar de estructuras no inclusivas a estructuras inclusivas. Que no se creen ni se pongan en servicio más centros de educación especial y que no se admitan más alumnos con discapacidad en los centros especiales, deberían ser declarados a extinguir, que subsistan hasta su completa desaparición.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias. Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.